simple bracket tournament. So first we got episode 2 versus episode 3. Now a lot of people loved episode 2 a lot for its flashbacks, but I think the flashbacks are really what brought it down. Because though they were cool at parts and important to Boba's story, I think they really dragged down the present day storyline. And when we were in the present day storyline, I was really enjoying it. I was interested. But then they took us away from that, and most of the episode was just flashbacks. Now episode 3 is not perfect. It does have some flaws, like for example that biker gang, they felt pretty weird to me. But I think episode 3 utilized the flashbacks in a perfect way. They didn't take up almost the whole episode. They were interesting and very important to Boba's story, with seeing the Tuskens dead, which was very important to Boba's story. So that's why episode 3 is gonna move on. So next we've got episode 5 versus episode 1. Now, when episode 5 first came out, my biggest problem with it was that Boba was barely in it. He was really sidelined in this episode, and this episode was about Din Djarin, the Mandalorian. Now, that's a bad thing for the show as a whole. But as its own episode, episode 5 is really great. I just love seeing Din Djarin on screen. He's just like great wherever we see him. He's a really great character in my opinion. Up there with, in terms of best Star Wars characters, in my opinion. And episode 1, it was just an introduction to what's going on, basically. So it wasn't super exciting. But episode 5, it was pretty exciting, especially with that struggle with the dark saber. And some big stuff that happened for Din Djarin. One of those things being that he got kicked out of his Mandalorian clan, and that was some really great character development for Din Djarin, and it was just a great episode. It felt like we were watching The Mandalorian again, which we basically were. It's like this would be a great pilot for Mando Season 3, but they put it in Book of Boba Fett for some reason, which was kind of weird. But anyways, yeah, episode 5 moves on to the next round. Now, next we've got a three-way battle here. We've got episode 4 versus episode 7 versus episode 6. So first I'm going to go episode 4 versus episode 7, and then the winner of that will go up against episode 6. Now, this is a close one for me. But I think I'll go episode 4, because the flashbacks in this episode felt to me like this is really important stuff. It's really important to develop the relationship between Boba and Fennec. And it was a lot more entertaining than the flashbacks in like episode 1 and 2, in my opinion. And they had a sort of cliffhanger ending, which I felt was really missing from most, if not all, of the other episodes in this show. And I like that kind of thing in a show, because it makes me feel excited about the next episode, which is a big reason why I love making these videos, and I love watching these shows, because I feel excited for the next episode. Now, episode 7, it was kind of disappointing for me. It felt anticlimactic. It was just a huge fight scene, or a bunch of fight scenes. Many of them weren't too interesting to me. Some of them I did like a lot of the action with Din Djarin, and that duel between Cad Bane and Boba. I think that's perfect storytelling. There's like emotion to the fight scene, and that's the type of thing that I really love in a fight scene. That's the type of thing that makes a fight scene stand out to me. So, yeah, and I don't really think there was a really great resolution for Boba's character arc in this episode, which was a bit of a problem for me. So, yeah, now episode 4 versus episode 6. Now, okay, this is probably expecting this, but I'm going episode 6. It was really great. Again, Boba barely was in it. He was in it, but he didn't say anything, so he wasn't really a part of the episode, but it was still really great. Seeing Luke and Ahsoka talk to each other, Grogu being trained, and Cad Bane really established as a very scary, menacing presence in this episode. They did really well with that. And Cobb Vanth as well. I loved him in this episode more than the first episode he was in the Mandalorian season 2. He was done really well in this episode, I think. So like all the cameos were pretty great in this episode. So yeah, episode 6 gonna move on to the finals now. So now we've got episode 3 versus episode 5. And for me, this is hands down episode 5 for reasons I mentioned before. Just seeing Din Djarin again was really great. And those are some really great character development for him. And overall, it was just a more entertaining episode. So now, in the finale, we've got the 2 episodes not starring Boba, which definitely says something about this show. We got episode 5 and episode 6. Now, episode 5 I thought was pretty good. Maybe with with the ending being not as entertaining to me, with all the ship stuff, building the ship, all that. That was kind of slow for me. I think they should have sped that up. But episode 6, from start to end, I loved the whole thing. I was engaged throughout the whole thing. I thought every scene was amazing. I was gonna say every scene was crucial, but not really crucial to this show as a whole. Actually, a lot of it wasn't crucial to this show as a whole. But just every scene, I really loved it, and it was really entertaining. And it was great. So episode 6 wins this bracket tournament. It's the best episode in my opinion. Now for my quick ranking. Last place got episode 1. It was a bit of a slow start to the show. At 6th place, episode 2. I think the flashbacks, though they were important, they dragged on a bit too long, and they felt a little bit dull, I guess, because it's Tatooine, and Tatooine is just a big desert planet, and it wasn't that interesting. So at number 5, we've got episode 3. I think this was a step up from the first 2 episodes in the way they utilized the flashbacks, especially, and having a more focus put on the present day timeline, which at the time, that was what I was most excited about, most interested in. But I think overall, flashbacks maybe turned out to be more interesting, I guess. Sure, yeah. So at number 4, I've got episode 7. This finale, there were some cool fight scenes, but overall I think it was a bit of an anticlimactic ending, and I don't think it properly closed off Boba's character journey. And at number 3, we got episode 4. This episode felt like the first episode that I was actually excited about after it came out. The other episodes I was just kind of like, okay, that happened. It was mildly entertaining. And at number 2, we got episode 5. Great episode. It was great seeing Din Djarin again. And at number 1, episode 6. A lot of really cool cameos. And some beautiful moments in that episode. So that's it for this video. Down below in the comments, tell me what is your ranking for these episodes of the Book of Boba Fett. And that's it for this video. Thanks for watching.